my beautiful audience. It's me, Casey Pacheco. Welcome back to Meet the Experts. Now, this expert I had to run down. She is absolutely hands down the author of my favorite newsletter. Her newsletter comes like a shot in the arm, a shot of medicine, a shot of love. And it's none other than Karen Retardo. Karen, welcome, welcome.
Yes, Casey. So great to be here with you, sharing this beautiful virtual space.
Yes, and I'm so happy to interview you. I have seen you, I met you at many different conferences in 2023, 2024, and I have so appreciated the work that you've brought to conferences as an educator, as a speaker, as a coach, and I'm so grateful to have you. You mind telling the audience a little bit about your background?
Well, a little about me, a coach for now, Casey. I love working with nurse entrepreneurs, nurse leaders, especially Filipino background. But of course, it doesn't mean that if we vibe that we're not. But since I'm Filipino, my heart belongs to serving my people, and noticing that, Casey, with nurse leaders, it's so we avoid difficult conversations. So I like helping nurse leaders in navigating courageous conversations. And then for nurse entrepreneurs, as nurse entrepreneurs, it's not for the faint of heart.
No,
And
it isn't.
no. And 2025, Casey, it was a roller coaster ride for most of us.
It has been, but we made it through. We're almost to the end of the year. Most likely, the audience is watching this, and it's 2026 already. And I just have to shout out at the time of this recording, it happens to be your birthday today.
I know.
Yes, and you said something in your newsletter that went out today that absolutely resonates. You said it's not about proving, it's more about alignment. So I really hope we could talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
And 52 years, around the sun. Casey, just acknowledging too, like we've learned in nursing, Erickson's stages of development, right? And at this stage, it's, I think, generativity versus isolation. And I think that it has a factor too. But for me, at this stage, it's not about the metrics of success where it's money or acquiring, but it's really feeling secured with ourselves. I don't even not caring so much what other people say anymore. So it's really aligning with who we are. And I see nurse leaders, nurse entrepreneurs trying to find answers outside of themselves, and not judging that, because I went through that journey myself, but with age comes wisdom.
Yes, it does. It does. Fine wine. That's what you're doing. Aging like fine wine. So you know what, Karen? I have some questions prepared for you, and I'm gonna do rapid style questions. You don't have to answer quickly, but I'm gonna just be firing some questions at you.
Sure.
Okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Karen. So, Karen, if you could share one piece of advice with your younger self, what would it be and why?
Ooh, one piece of advice. I wish I heard this advice when I was really, really young, and I did. But what others think of me is none of my business.
That's a good one. It's true. It's true. We worry so much about other people's thoughts and opinions. You're right. Okay, my next question for you is, if you had the power to change or to transform one major aspect of healthcare, what would it be? And how do you envision it impacting the system and the people that it serves?
Oh my God. I think really focusing on the nurses, and with nursing now, Casey,
Mhm.
because even if it's a nonprofit organization, sometimes they still focus on profits.
Yeah,
It's still money, and we
yeah,
forget the foundations of nursing, like Florence Nightingale, which is really about compassion, care, and really taking care of the sick. And at the same time, I understand, like, hey, they need to make money. They can't
Yes.
just throw away everything.
Yes.
So, like, I think balancing the heart and the mind in
Yes.
nursing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
That's
if yes, because like with AI now, like yes, there's
mhm.
innovation, but I hope this not will not replace the human side of healthcare, especially nursing, because as we know, like taking care of people heals.
It does. Our presence, our very presence is healing. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Thank you, Karen. Good answer. So, in your experience, Karen, what is one skill or mindset that you see that most often prevents people from reaching real success?
Oh, I know the limiting beliefs, but
Yeah.
rather than well, because before I'm like, oh, let's overcome those limiting beliefs. But
Yeah.
now, Casey, like I said, with age
Mhm.
comes wisdom. Rather than pushing it away, it's part of human life. Like, those self doubts. I remember I had them when I was 20, and I
Yeah.
still have them now that I'm in my 50s. But rather than pushing it away, I'm like, okay, let's talk. Okay, self doubt. What's your message here? Because, like, when we think about it, those inner critic limiting beliefs, they just want to protect us, they don't want us to get hurt, they just want us to be safe. But sometimes we just need to remind them, like, I'm an adult now, I can make decisions for
Yes.
myself.
Oh, that's so deep. That is so deep. So, you speak to self doubt, you speak to the inner critic.
Yes, yes. And also doing, like, I believe in inner child healing, because
Mhm.
all of our beliefs, how we view the world, how we view men, money, all that stuff comes from our childhood. And
Mhm.
we just need to understand and heal that part so we could be better in present time.
Now, I just wanted to lean in a little bit now that you talk about the childhood. From being an immigrant, coming from different country, as a nurse, what do you see um, really as a barrier for immigrants as they come over here? Some of the defeating thoughts, because as immigrants and as nurses, it's easy for us to come, oh, land of opportunity, and we go after it, and we look around and like, why is everybody else not? But then when you look around, you realize, wait, hold on, I missed something. I missed something in this culture, in this society, about myself, about my whole process of transplanting life to a different country. What you talk a lot about this in your newsletter, but can you share something with the audience?
Yeah, because I know as immigrants, sometimes, Casey, it's so difficult to explain because like we're code switching.
Yeah.
We're
Mm-hmm.
code switching when I got here. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, I need to adapt to like the Western culture, but at the same time, I don't want to betray myself or leave behind, the things that
Yeah.
I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, learning to adapt and at the same time not forgetting where we came from and the difference that I see, because not judging Western culture, but like in Western culture, it's more individualistic versus, Eastern and even, Black cultures, it's more collective. That's
Mm-hmm.
why sometimes, Casey, it's so difficult to talk about our accomplishments as immigrants because it feels like we're bragging.
Yes.
And at the same time, like we need to learn to talk about our accomplishments because if not, we get bypassed for promotions, right?
Yeah. So actually the position, so usually the way we speak about ourselves and the way we refer to ourselves, it's more so we're doing heavy work, we're carrying heavy work, but the way we speak about ourselves never really positions us as the leader. It positions us more as the worker bee who
Yeah.
that can take
Wow.
it all and handle it all and get it done. Not as that person who is the one making the strategic decisions in the background.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, Casey, it's a beautiful skill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not to be always the loud or
Mhm.
extroverted. There's like I talk about it in my newsletter. There's power in like that quiet confidence and
Yeah.
softness. because I feel like our world is so harsh, and sometimes we need the softness, the empathy,
Mhm, mhm.
compassion, not just towards others, but sometimes mostly towards ourselves, because sometimes we're our worst critic.
It is very true. And you know what I've realized, Karen, sometimes when we feel the harshness of someone else's words, it's because it resonates deeply within us, because that's what we're telling ourselves. Even though
Yeah,
we don't want to hear it from someone else, it hurts because we hear it all the time. We don't need someone else to say it.
exactly. As I tell my clients, if you spot it, you got it.
If you spot it, you got it.
And it works both
It's
ways, good things that you acknowledge or see in other people, that means you
you.
have it. 'Cause how are you gonna admire someone who's confident if you don't have that? Because you won't be able to name it, right, if you
Yeah.
don't know it. So if you spot it, you got it.
You got it. Oh, I like that. See, we got a tip today. Oh my gosh. So, Karen, now I feel like now that today, especially, you are at 52 years around the sun. You are, it seems to me that you're building not just for money, you don't want clients for clients, but you're building a legacy, right? With your work. So, can you tell me, how does your who do you feel most called to serve? I know we talked a little bit about the immigrant population, the Filipina. I know you speak a lot to women. And actually, I think changed my life with one of your lectures. You talked about the work of Barbara Stanny, financial, raising financial accuracy and literacy, especially among nurses. And there was, we could hardly find a seat in the room. It was so packed. And I just love it. And it really, I went into learning about this because not many nurses talk about it, but you deal a lot with that working of the inner self, the inner child. So who is your, I should say, perfect client? Who's your perfect
Uh,
person that you want to serve?
I
Like,
know, like I said, nursepreneurs and nurse leaders, and particularly Filipino AAPI Asian Americans, just because of my lived experience. But like I
mhm,
said, Casey, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not gonna serve you, but someone like if they're not Filipino, if they're not Asian, like they identify as quietly ambitious or quietly
mhm,
brilliant, and maybe sometimes they would identify as introvert, more on the quiet side. So those I love to serve, and at the same time also has done or willing to look, willing to do the work, because
mhm.
as a coach, we
Yes.
don't give answers. We co-partner with them and help them come up with their own answers. Because we've experienced that, Casey, when someone gives the answer, few minutes later, we forget the answer. But if it's an answer that comes inside us, I remember one session with my coach. It was almost 2 years ago, and I still remember what I shared with her. So I know that when the answer comes within an
Mhm.
individual, it's more lasting. So
Yes.
yeah. Yep.
Yes.
And
That's true. That's true. And Karen, a lot of times they say the people you end up coaching are earlier versions of yourself. So you mind sharing some earlier versions of Karen and some of what you feel really equipped from your experience to bring someone through?
because people that would say like, "Oh, Karen, like you're confident, you're
Yeah.
not scared of public speaking." But Casey, this wasn't me. I remember even second grade, I was 7, 8 years old. I'm like, I got the best in conduct award. So that means as a child, I was so quiet, and
Mhm.
now able to speak up for myself, but not even in an aggressive way, but like more assertive and grounded. And because
Mhm.
it's not what you say, it's how you say it, because some can be like loud and
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And even as a child, I was so shy that I won't even play with my cousins when they visit us for vacation in the Philippines. And yeah, and my friends were like, "Oh, Karen," but it's true. I tend to be more the quiet person, and like I said, our society and our culture, they reward extroversion and
Mhm.
loudness, and not give credit so much to the quiet ones.
Yes. And I bring this out, Karen, because there are a lot of people, and for me, I'm personally an extrovert. I'm really out there. I love people. I walk in a room, I'm there. But there are parts of me that are introverted. And I think because I'm extroverted, a lot of introverted people tend to come to me. But I think when it's time for coaching, I think watching the model of a coach such like yourself, where you actually work through, you didn't see being an introvert as necessarily a bad thing, but you work through the pieces of yourself where you could show up and be visible to shine your light in your way.
Yes, and I think that's one thing, like really honoring your way too, because I'm also a Gallup Clifton Strengths certified coach,
Oh,
Casey.
you are. I just did mine. I just did mine.
Yeah, and Casey, those are like our top five. Well, like all of it, but like the top five. If we just focus on the top five and really lean in and embrace our strengths, that's our zone of genius. Because nobody has that. Like there's millions of people, and nobody has the same strengths as you do. So yeah.
So, talking a little bit about your certification as a Clifton Strengths coach, how do you use this in your coaching?
Oh, I use it like it's the foundation of my coaching. Our first session is usually like them doing their Clifton strengths, and then we debrief their strengths. Because Casey, that's your blueprint.
Yes, unique to you, right?
Unique to you. And I noticed this because there was one coach that I was following, and he makes it so easy. Like, like a typical coach, they would tell you what worked for them, and it's to do cold DMs, cold outreach to people. And every time he would say that, I'm like, oh, I would feel this
Yes.
twist in my gut. I'm like, oh, why does that doesn't align with me? Then when I went back to my strengths, I'm like, oh, of course, because my number two strength is connectedness, and then I have relator in my top 10, and then I have empathy. Like, of course, like cold outreach won't
It
work.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
Yes.
it won't resonate with me. And now I just found, like, what works for me in comes to building business. And I like this. I
Yes.
like scheduling coffee chats with other professionals, entrepreneurs, attending in-person events. So for me, knowing your Clifton strengths would really help guide you, like how you're wired, uh,
Yes.
what may feel easy, because our strengths, Casey, like they come so easy that we don't see it as strength. Like people would ask, like, how'd you do that? And you can't explain it. So that's
Yes.
one clue that you're doing your strength.
Absolutely. That's absolutely incredible. Now, I have a question for you. So now that you're helping businesswomen to have confidence, to flourish in their natural blueprint, how does that align with the impact and the legacy that you wish to leave behind?
Oh, well, for me, my soft spot, Casey, is representation. Like for me, representation matters. And being in an NBA, I love in an NBA because like the nurse colleagues that we have, they're other business owners, they champion us women of color,
Yes,
right? But
yes,
not a lot of women
yes.
of color or people of color are speaking. There were more this time. Oh, you weren't there this year, but
No, I didn't. Yeah, next year I'll be there. This year, no.
I know, but there were more, and sometimes, like just seeing someone that looks like me, sounds like me, would inspire others, and it's so interesting, Casey, because like Philippines is the number one exporter of nurses, but when it comes to entrepreneurship, Oh my God, Casey, there were, I think out of 100, there were only 5 or 6 of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're not aware of it, or that their business, when it comes to entrepreneurship, it tends to be not healthcare?
I don't know. Not a lot of, well, maybe they don't know about NNBA because there
Okay.
were attendees that, came this year and they said it was their first time to hear about NNBA. And I'm like, I've been with NNBA since 2005. So,
Yeah, maybe they don't have enough visibility, but I did hear about an NBA in 2024. So,
wow.
and that was my first time hearing about it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So now maybe like we need to tell Nana, the president, like we need more visibility because yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not a lot. And it's a great, association.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because like maybe our mindset migrating to the US, it's more healthcare employee. I don't know, Casey, but it's like I said, like we both know, it's not for the faint of heart to be an entrepreneur. And we're blessed. I'm grateful for nursing. I love nursing. Because Casey, like 2025, I have to be honest, business was a little bit slow. So
Mhm.
pick up more days as a nurse
As
to
a nurse. Yeah.
yeah, and other coaches that are not nurses, they couldn't do that, because there's no corporate job that would allow you to work once a week.
Yeah. Yes, you're right. You're right. And so even like you talk a lot about even just the financial aspects of being in business and also working a W-2 job, where just by having a business, it's financially helpful to your work that you get. So it's because not all nurses may want to do full-time entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
but they may want to do it on the side.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And a lot of nurses, they start doing it on the side or even stay doing it on the side because why not have the best of both worlds, right?
Yes, you can. You can. Especially if you have a really good clinical job, you don't want to leave. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
My next question for you is a question that a lot of people don't see because it's usually behind closed doors, but you know. So, what decisions and sacrifices did you have to make to be this person that you are today, offering the services and the insight and the advice that you do?
Yeah. Well, migrating here, Casey, wasn't easy because, yes, I had my uncles and my aunts here, but I was 20 when I migrated here to the US. So that's still young, leaving mom, dad,
Mhm.
siblings, and the loneliness and isolation here, the culture shock. I'm like, oh my goodness, even though we were open to American stuff in the Philippines, it's still different when you're living
Yeah.
here. And yep. And
Yeah.
Casey, like building a business, sometimes nursing job, then after the nursing job, do the coaching
Yeah.
job. And sometimes people ask, like, how do you do it? But I love coaching. I love seeing those aha moments and just being a partner with someone achieving their goals.
Mhm.
I like being the fairy godmother. I'm like, what's your wish? And I will help you. Yes. So
Love
yeah.
it. I love it. And Karen, you're a person. Every time I talk to you, it's like I uncover a different layer of you, and I can see that you have put some time, devoted some time to self development. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. Casey, I've been in the personal development arena since 97, since my early 20s. Yeah. So I experienced coaching in 1998. And they were, professionally trained coaches. I didn't know that. Like once you take a seminar here, they're gonna upsell you after
Oh,
the
yeah. They're gonna, yeah, that's how they do it.
so naive and innocent as a new immigrant here, Casey. I'm like, oh. So I took this personal development seminar in 1997. And then, of course, after the basic seminar, they're going to upsell you. And there were two upsells. One was 2000. I'm like, oh, I can't afford that yet. So I chose the 90-day program, which was about $400 back then. And Yeah, and we had a coach. Like I said, they weren't professionally trained coaches, but they completed the 90-day program. And oh my goodness, Casey, I was so amazed because like we had to set personal, emotional, mental, spiritual goals and then do a service project. And in 90 days, I got all of my goals because we had to call our coach 7 days a week.
Oh, wow. They were serious.
You know, laser coaching, 7 to 10 minutes a day, but
Okay.
7 days a week for 90 days. And
Okay. How was the results?
oh, good. I got like, got all of my goals. So that's what sparked me. I'm like, oh, there's gotta be a profession doing this.
Yeah.
So I started my coach training in 2001 when coaching wasn't still.
Yeah, that was new, a little bit newer.
Yeah. Yep.
A
Yeah.
long time to be coaching. But Karen, sometimes we don't think about the development, personal development and self-development, but that's a lot of work that you have to put into yourself. We put in a lot of work on our degrees, but putting the work on yourself, that's
Yeah.
when you really have something to offer.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, my question, what is one impressive or meaningful thing that you have done or been a part of that most people don't know about?
Oh, two things. There's one personal right now. Our mom, she's 76, and me and my other sister, she's a nurse too. We're funding her dream home in the Philippines. So,
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my gosh. That
yeah.
is so sweet. When will it be done?
Next year, hopefully around summer or late next year. So, yeah, Casey.
Oh
So
my gosh, it's so wonderful.
and then another one, like during the pandemic, our school in the Philippines started an international alumni association. So I'm part of the executive board, and been an officer since when we started, when we founded it, and just the last 4 or 5 years, just staying active. And our main initiative, Casey, is sponsoring student nurses in the Philippines a scholarship. And like once they know that you're from a foreign country, they always ask like, can you donate to this charity? But my sister is the president right now, and she said like, no, our focus is just scholarships. Because Casey, like it's so true, in the Philippines, one nurse can change the generation, uh financial generation in
Yes.
in one family. Because and good thing and not so good, like that's the thing, because like yes, we're expect to help our family once our life is better. And sometimes as immigrants in a foreign country, sometimes we need to learn to say no to, because sometimes we give, but we forget ourselves. But like yeah, those are the two things that I'm really proud personally, like funding our mom's dream home and supporting the initiative of scholarship. And as of today, we already had 8 graduates.
Wow.
Right
Well,
here.
congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for that work you're doing. You're adding to the nursing profession.
Yes, there's shortage, so like helping.
Guys, you're helping the shortage. Who knows? Maybe they might end up here. Who knows, right? But
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing. For wherever they go, you have helped. It's like planting a tree. That's beautiful.
Yes, yes.
So my last question to you as we come up to the end of this interview, what is the most dearest piece of advice that you carry in your heart? Maybe it's a piece of advice that you give to other people, or maybe it's a piece of advice that you received and you just hold on to.
Oh. It's so simple, Casey, but it's really like be true to ourselves, be true to yourself, and know yourself.
Mhm,
Once that foundation is strong, no matter what comes at you, if you know who you are, your values,
mhm.
nobody could push you. I
Yeah.
know.
Ooh, that's powerful. Simple, but powerful.
Mhm.
Oh my, Karen. If someone has not been connected to you yet, they definitely should connect with you. I know for sure you are on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Uh, what are some other ways people can connect with you?
Well, Instagram and LinkedIn, those are the things, but really now more heavily on LinkedIn because I feel that people are more, I wouldn't say this 2 or 3 years ago, Casey, but after attending the National Nurses in Business Association, I'm like, oh, people are really willing to connect. And not that they weren't open to connect on Instagram, but I think Instagram felt more social. And like on LinkedIn, I felt it was easier. So
Mhm. Yes, I do feel the same. So connect with Karen on LinkedIn. If you have not yet connected with her, follow her. And definitely, she has, I know you had a few coaching sessions that you do, like maybe once a month, you have a coaching call. And then you have your website there. And then they could subscribe to your newsletter there. So you have all of these goodies just ready for them just by connecting with you.
yes, 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 yes. Would love to connect. And hey, like you said, Casey, you read my newsletters. That's so.
I
And
love
when you respond to my emails, I'm like, oh, it just warms my heart. Oh, someone's reading it, and like it's making a difference, even if it's just one person.
it.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. It's very, very powerful. And I would encourage anybody to subscribe to your newsletter. Sometimes newsletters get a little bit junky. You have so many, or some people send so
so
many, and
I,
it's literally just selling a product. But
yeah.
your newsletter is literally connecting and you're sharing and encouraging and inspiring. And I love it. So I thank you for it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Audience, I asked Karen Retardo all of my questions and more and some. Now it's your turn. Do you have any questions to Karen? What would you like to know? Are you an immigrant nurse? Would you like to hear about her story? Would you like to hear about what it is like to coach with her? Connect with her. But leave your comments down to the bottom and she will definitely get respond back to it. If you're on LinkedIn, you could just add her and she will comment right in the comments below. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us. Thank you, Karen, for being our guest. We absolutely enjoyed this interview, and we will see you next time on Meet the Experts.
Yay!